All right, so today we are digging into a fascinating analysis of Microsoft. The argument is that the company is staring at this huge, once-in-a-generation opportunity. But, and this is the key part, it might just have an expiration date.
So to get started, let's chew on this idea for a second. We're not just talking about companies that do well. We're talking about the giants, the ones that literally define an era and reshape the world around them. You know, think about Microsoft back in the day, putting a PC on every single desk. That's the kind of scale we're dealing with here.
And that right there, that's the real tension we're digging into today. What happens when a company is at the absolute peak of its power, but the window for that power might be closing faster than anyone thinks?
Okay, so let's start with the bull case. Why are we even calling this a generational opportunity for Microsoft? Well, it all goes back to a huge shift in strategy.
You see, the story of today's Microsoft isn't about protecting its old kingdom, Windows. Not at all. It's about building entirely new empires. When Satya Nadella took the helm back in 2014, he completely pivoted the company away from defending the past and pointed it straight at the future. And that future, as we all now know, was the cloud.
Now, this whole reinvention, it's not just a one-trick pony. The strategy is really built on three incredibly powerful interconnected pillars that hold the entire thing up.
First up, and this is the big one, the absolute foundation, the cloud. Microsoft's platform, Azure, went from being kind of an afterthought to an absolute monster, becoming the essential plumbing for thousands upon thousands of businesses.
And the numbers, they're just staggering. Azure is now a business doing over $70 billion a year. Let's be clear, this isn't just a product line. It's the mission-critical infrastructure that huge chunks of the modern economy literally run on top of.
The second pillar is the rocket fuel for this entire operation, artificial intelligence. I mean, Microsoft's early and very deep partnership with OpenAI gave them such a massive head start in this whole generative AI revolution. And man, are they leveraging it.
And their strategy here is just, it's brilliant. The genius isn't trying to build a new product and then go find customers for it. Nope, it's taking their massive built-in user base in Office and GitHub and simply offering them an incredibly powerful AI upgrade called Copilot. It is one of the smartest distribution plays in tech today.
Of course, none of this works without pillar number 3, a financial engine that is just dominant. This funds the entire vision. You have to remember, Microsoft isn't just an innovation story. It is a straight-up cash machine. I mean, just look at this number. In 1 year, the company spun off over $65 billion in free cash flow. That is an almost unbelievable amount of financial firepower to invest, to acquire, and to innovate with whatever's coming next.
So the crucial point is that this cash isn't just piling up in a bank account. It lets Microsoft pour billions into AI data centers, make these massive strategic buys like getting Activision for $69 billion, and still have plenty of money left over to reward its shareholders. It's a real fortress.
Okay, so the opportunity is incredible. We get it. But here's the twist in the story. This amazing moment doesn't come without some really serious challenges, the kind that create that expiration date we mentioned right at the top.
I mean, history is basically a graveyard of dominant companies that thought they were invincible right before they got disrupted. For Microsoft, all of its incredible success acts like this giant beacon, and it doesn't just attract customers, it attracts the fiercest competition in the most intense regulatory heat from everywhere, from Washington to Brussels.
And this is the central conflict, right? For every single massive strength, there's an equal and opposite threat. You see that huge lead in AI? Well, it's being chased relentlessly by Google's army of researchers and Amazon's massive web services empire. Their dominance in the cloud, that's put a giant regulatory target on their back, and the antitrust questions are only getting louder. And that amazing growth story, it's all baked into a sky-high valuation, which means any little stumble could be punished, and punished harshly by investors.
So when you weigh all this huge opportunity against these pretty serious risks, what are we supposed to take away from it all? What does it actually mean for anyone watching this unfold?
Well, that brings us to a really compelling point about these truly great market-defining companies. The temptation is always there to wait for a dip, right? To wait for a better price. But if you look back at history, that hesitation can turn out to be an incredibly expensive mistake.
And this timeline right here, it just drives that point home, powerfully. The people who thought Microsoft was too expensive back in 2014 when Nadella took over, or even in 2018 when the cloud strategy was so obviously working, they missed out on a tenfold increase in value. Great companies often look expensive right before they deliver their biggest returns.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The argument isn't simply that Microsoft is a good company. The argument is that it's a great company having a rare and maybe fleeting moment in the history of technology.
And so we're left with this final, kind of thought-provoking idea. The very forces that are creating this once-in-a-generation opportunity, all the disruption, the innovation, the dominance, they're also the same forces that guarantee it's not going to last forever. For those of us watching from the sidelines, this unique window of opportunity, well, it won't stay open for good.